You just need to state your name and address for the record, please, sir.
Good. That's great. My name is Sid Banks. I was born in Raceland, graduated from Central Lafourche, spent 4 years at USL, 30 years in the Air Force. I'm a Bayou boy, and I love it. Happy to be here, but most importantly, I want to thank you for taking the time to recognize our mother. And we would like to say on behalf of her that she's a lifelong resident of this parish. She loves not only the parish, but the people. And sure enough, is rich in heritage, rich in culture, and because of the things you do each and every day to try to make it a better place for all the citizens of Lafourche. So on behalf of my sisters, my brothers, my kids, my sister-in-law, all of us here assembled, we just want to say thank you for taking the time out of your schedule to acknowledge someone who's lived 100 years, centenarian.
Right.
That's awesome. So thank you all very much.
Thank you, guys. All right, we'll move on to item E, executive session. Have a motion by Mr. Adams, second by Mrs. Chasson to enter into executive session regarding item number 3, Louisiana Revised Statute 4217A2. Discussion regarding Louisiana Gaming Control Board versus Lafourche Parish Government, Lafourche Parish Council, and Lafourche Parish President, docket number C-72225625. And for the record, executive session will be the District Attorney Christine Russell, Mrs. Lisa Orgeron with the District Attorney's Office, Parish Administrator Mitch Orgeron, and the full council. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Meeting, any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes with 8 yeas, 0 nays, and 1 absence being Mrs. Chasson. Have a motion by Mr. Jones and a second by Mr. Adams for legal counsel to move forward as agreed upon in executive session. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence being Mrs. Chasson. Item F, action from executive session. We've already addressed that. Item G, presentations and our updates. We have none. Item H, legal advisory report. We have none. Item I, engineers and architects reports. Any engineers or architects? Good evening, sir.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Jacob Waits with David Waits Engineering and Surveying, 1107 Canal Boulevard in Thibodaux. I have one project to report to you all tonight. It's the Road Priority List 2020, Tax District A. It's Hodson Lane, First Place, Charnel Drive, and part of Choctaw Road. We had our pre-construction meeting with Barrier Construction last Monday on August 15th, and the notice to proceed is issued for Monday, September 12th. That's the Monday after Labor Day. We have a 90-day construction time on that one, and pretty soon they'll get to work.
Anybody with any questions for Mr. Waits? All righty, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Anyone else? All right, we'll move to item J, public wishing to address the council. Ms. Carlene? No one at this time. Item K, council reports, news and announcements. Anyone? Mr. Jones, we'll start on your end. You have anything? No. All right. Anyone else? Mrs. Chasson?
Yeah, I want to say that Cutoff Center is having their Hurricane Festival. Just want to remind everyone again, September 23rd, 24th, and 25th. And also, LaRose Civic Center will be having their French Food Festival the last full weekend of October. I believe that's 28th, 29th, and 30th. And that's it.
All righty, ma'am. Mr. Araby.
I just want to let everybody know that we are having a fundraiser for one of our parish employees this Friday at the Raceland Ag Building. And also we're having another one for a resident of the Raceland area Saturday at the VFW Hall in Raceland. So anybody can come out and support these 2 events would be greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Araby. Anyone? Mr. Groh?
Yeah, Friends of Bayou Lafourche is doing their poker, well, not poker, a boat parade this weekend in downtown Thibodaux. They have bands along the bridges and along the bayous around downtown, so you can see on Facebook at Friends of Bayou Lafourche to get more information. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else? All right, we'll move into item L, public hearings and ordinances for ratification. I have a motion by Mr. Jones, second by Mrs. Chasson to open public hearing. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item number 4, we have an ordinance approving the holding of an election in the Veterans Memorial District, Ward 10 of the Parish of Lafourche, State of Louisiana, on Saturday, December 10th, 2022, to authorize the renewal of a special tax. That is a motion by Mr. Lorraine, second by Mr. Adams. Public comment, we do have two members of the public that would like to speak on this. Mr. Kurt Schwest, the president of the Veterans Memorial District, and Mr. Bob Huth, who has a presentation of a video. Gentlemen, if you'd like to come up, just please state your name and address for the record, and please remember you do have 3 minutes.
Kurt Schwest, 209 East 39th Street, Cutoff, Louisiana, President of Veterans Memorial District. It is our pleasure to be able to have an audience with this council. With that said, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Bob Hoot, who will present his film. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
And we appreciate your time.
Good evening. It was great to be here again. Robert Huth, 16528 West Main, Cutoff, Louisiana. Shortly, you will consider the memorial's request to be placed upon the ballot for a renewal of a .98 millage for this upcoming election. Before doing so, we would like you to look at the Veterans Memorial from its many missions. First, our role is to ensure that all veterans of Ward 10 can travel to any veterans hospital, clinic, or private doctor within the state of Louisiana or surrounding states at no cost to them. This year we are projected, based upon the monthly numbers, to assist 564 veterans who will see a physician or a specialist. The second role is to preserve the history and sacrifice the veterans of Ward 10, along with our community, have made to God and country. The last role that we'll look at tonight is how to transform the Veterans Memorial in times of great need. We will present to you tonight a short video reflecting that second and third role. Thank you. There's a volume of stuff that goes with it, and a speech and everything.
+150 mile-an-hour winds for like 9 hours. Just debris and tearing up everything.
Me and my wife, in fact, held the door because it blew the door open, the wind, you know, held it for about an hour and a half till we were able to get something to close it up. Separated everything out and gave it out to the people as they needed, you know, whatever they needed. If it was there, you know, they could have it. On August the 29th, 2021, Hurricane Ida struck South Lafourche along with Ward 10 and created great devastation. After the storm, the Veterans Memorial was transformed into a recovery center. For 19 days, the Veterans Memorial and the great organizations like the Rotary Club, the Red Cross, the Boy Scout, Commander's Palace, and the Cajun Navy, along with so many organizations, all came together to serve the community. These organizations and their members, along with countless numbers of individuals, put the community's need before their own. For 19 days, they served 3 meals a day, totaling over 4,000 meals each day. In addition, a tanker of gasoline along with gas cans were given out. Generators, air conditioning, window fans, water, hand sanitizer, canned goods, soft drinks, rice, all kinds of paper products were given to the community. Other additional items included diapers, washcloth, toothbrushes, toothpaste, charcoal, pet food, and supplies, and so many other items of need. We at the Veterans Memorial can only say thank you to all who gave those in need.
On Election Day, please vote yes to renew the .98 millage tax so that the Veterans Memorial can continue to honor the history and the pride of our community.
And that would be it.
Anyone with any questions for Mr. Huth before we proceed? Mr. Lorraine?
Yeah, I just want to say that the Veterans Memorial District was a great stage for the people of the cutoff Galiana, Golden Meadow, La Rose area, because there's one way in and two ways out. And the veterans, most of them helped us as much as they could, but we had Kevin and Yo-Yo that was the operators of the equipment to load and unload the trucks. And again, we had the Golden Meadow Rotary, the Cajun Navy, the Red Cross, and the veterans. So I want to thank you guys for letting us use the police, and I'm sure the people were happy because there was a lot of stuff that came out of there. And we worked there about 3 months, and a lot of it was in the rain. And there were some people that drove up that I don't know everybody. A lot of people came to help, and it was a big success. So again, thank you. And getting back to the tax, it's not an increase. In fact, it's a decrease. Instead of 1 mil, it's .98. So, and this is the third time this is up. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lorraine. Thank you, Mr. Huth and Mr. Schwest for coming, as well as the other members in the audience. Thank you for what you guys do down there. Any other public comment on item number 4? Any council discussion? All right, with a motion by Mr. Lorraine, second by Mr. Adams, we'll take it to a vote. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Item number 5, ordinance accepting the subdivision known as 12 Cedars Crossing Subdivision Phase B into the parish system. Motion by Mr. Groves, second by Mr. Oten. Any public comment? Second call public. Third and final call public. Any council discussion? We'll take it to a vote. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item number 6, ordinance accepting the subdivision known as Cairo Estates of Bayou Blue Phases 5A and 5B into the parish system. Motion by Mr. Adams, second by Mr. Jones. Any public comment? Second call public. Third and final call public. Any council discussion? We'll take it to a vote. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item number 7, ordinance amending Chapter 2, Article 2, Section 2-36, precinct polling places for the Lafourche Parish Code of Ordinances, changing the polling location for Ward 10, Precinct 1 to the Rose Civic Center, and to further establish the effective date of the same, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Motion by Mrs. Chasson, second by Mr. Adams. Any public comment? Second call public. Third and final call public. Any council discussion? All right, we'll take it to a vote. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item number 8, ordinance approving a lease agreement between Bayou Civic Club Incorporated, doing business as LaRose Civic Center, and the Parish of Lafourche for leasing the premises located at 307 East 5th Street, LaRose, Louisiana, 70373, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any and all relevant documents. Motion by Mrs. Chasson, second by Mr. Jones. Any public comment? Second call public. Third and final call public. Any council discussion? Take it to a vote. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item 9, ordinance providing for a 2022 supplemental appropriation 22-015 within the 2022 operations maintenance budget and capital outlay budget, increasing the budget for the animal shelter and for Head Start salaries, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said transactions as provided for by Article 6 of the Lafourche Parish Home Rule Charter. Motion by Mrs. Chasson, second by Mr. Adams. Any public comment? Second call public. Third and final call public. Any council discussion? Take it to a vote. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item number 10, ordinance providing for a 2022 supplemental appropriation 22-016 within the 2022 operations and maintenance budget, increasing the budget for the Commission on Women and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said transactions as provided by Article 6 of the Lafourche Parish Home Rule Charter. Motion by Mrs. Chasson, second by Mr. Adams. Any public comment? Second call public. Third and final call public. Any council discussion? Take it to a vote. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item number 11, ordinance providing for a 2022 supplemental appropriation 22-017 within the 2022 operations and maintenance budget, increasing the budget for permits and planning and health activity fund, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said transactions as provided by Article 6 of the Lafourche Parish Home Rule Charter. Motion by Mr. Jones, second by Mr. Adams. Any public comment? Second call public. Third and final call public. Any council discussion? We'll take it to a vote. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item number 12, ordinance amending ordinance number 6657 that amended ordinance number 6582 that adopted the 2022 operations and maintenance budget and capital outlay budget for the Lafourche Parish Council, as well as setting the salaries of unclassified employees as provided for by Article 5 of the Lafourche Parish Home Rule Charter. Motion by Mr. Jones, second by Mr. Adams. Okay, we do have an amendment from the floor on this item. The amendment from the floor, motion by Mr. Jones, is the amendment is to reflect the salary changes to the below listed positions and correct the total salary. Out of the executive branch, parish administrator be 103-112-14. Director of finance would be 96-442-80. Director of human resources 80-923-16. Director of Grants and Economics, 97-867-90. Director of Communications, 68-611-13. Director of Public Works, 101-191-65. Director of Plans and Permits, 93-518-53, totaling 641-667-31. That is a motion by Mr. Jones, second by Mr. Adams. Any public comment on the amendment from the floor? Second call public for the amendment. Third and final call public for the amendment. Any council discussion on the amendment? Mr. Groh.
Yeah, I'm against it simply because it just came in front of me 3 minutes ago. Item 12, we've been looking at for a couple weeks now, and it was just for the legislative branch. Had nothing with the executive branch. Head Start, community action. I just don't know the rush to, or the coroner employees. So we were looking at adding what, about $2,000 to the legislative branch, and now we're looking at 15.6 on this. I don't know why the rush to do it. So I'm against the amendment because I don't want it to ramrod what we were going to be voting on originally.
All right, Mr. Ote.
Yeah, I just wonder if somebody could explain what this is about, or what it's just somebody just decided to give a raise, or is this correcting something? I guess we all kind of been blindsided. Nobody saw this amendment from the floor coming, where it's just everybody's getting a salary change. Can you somebody explain that?
Mr. Chairman?
Mr. Jones?
It's just the increase, everybody getting the increase, across the board parish-wide, so I just figured, hey, the unclassified department should have the same.
Can somebody refresh, so we went through this exercise recently, right? Or no? Didn't we just go through this exercise? I guess I'm confused too.
Is it a 2.5% on each of these positions at 2.5%?
Mr. Orgeron?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So the numbers that we provided to Mr. Jones, those are the same 2.5% increases that Carlene is being afforded here in, or excuse me, to be proper, our council clerk's increase. So she was given an initial 5% when we went before council a couple months ago. Ultimately, she had a performance review, as did the rest of us, and she's being put up for the additional 2.5% to equal the 7.5%, which is the COLA and the merit that's been afforded to the civil service employees. This particular amendment would give that same 2.5% to keep it the same across the board for the administration as well. So this is a 2.5% difference, yes.
I guess for me, it's just the rush. I mean, because look, I was in favor of it last time. There's no time to digest this, to run the numbers. You know, last time we had some discrepancies. We kind of worked through them. I just totally blindsided on this one. So for now, unfortunately, I'm not going to be supporting it, but I'm not saying I wouldn't support it. I just like to look through it, not given a couple of minutes to run all these. I mean, an extra 15,000. In the big scheme of things, it's not a lot, but you know, the public hasn't had a chance to look at this. This was just, you know, we haven't published it like we normally do with ordinances. I don't think it's the right route we just took, in my opinion.
Mr. Guerrero?
I feel the same way. Let's look at it with a little more time. You know, these things, like I said, have been published for 4 weeks. You know, I had time to stew over it. And I don't want to hold hostage this legislative branch deal. So I don't want, I'm totally against the actual amendment from the floor.
All right, thank you, sir. Any other council discussion? All right, this is for the amendment with a motion by Mr. Jones, second by Mr. Adam. We'll take it to a vote. All in favor? Any opposed? The nays are Grow, Melvin. You're a nay? All right, motion fails with 4 yeas and 5 nays. The nays being Mr. Grow, Mr. Melvin, Mr. Otan, Mr. Araby, and Mr. Lorraine. Back to the original item number 12 with a motion by Mr. Jones, second by Mr. Adams. Is there any public comment on the original item 12? Second call public, third and final call public. Any council discussion on original item 12? All right, we'll take it to a vote. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes with 9 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank y'all very much.
Item 13, ordinance to rescind ordinance number 5470 as it pertains to prohibiting the operation of more than 3 video poker devices within 1 mile of protected properties. Chapter 22, Land Development, Article XV, Video Poker Devices of the Lafourche Parish Code of Ordinances. Motion by Mr. Adams, second by Mr. Jones. Any public comment? Second call public, third and final call public. Any council discussion? Take item 13 to a vote. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes with 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item 14, ordinance to rescind ordinance number 6677 as it pertains to prohibiting the operation of more than 3 video poker devices within 1 mile of protected properties. Chapter 6, Amusements, Article 5, Video Poker Devices of the Lafourche Parish Code of Ordinances. Motion by Mr. Adams, again second by Mr. Jones. Any public comment? Second call public. Third and final call public. Any council discussion? Take it to a vote. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Have a motion by Mr. Adams, second by Mr. Otan to close public hearing. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item M, proposed ordinances. Ms. Chesson, will you do the honors?
Number 15, proposed ordinance to dededicate the rear 2,721 and 80 linear feet of Lede Lane and the rear 287.18 linear feet of Garden Drive, located in Ward 4, District 7, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Mr. Otam for administration. 16, proposed ordinance approving an access servitude agreement between Allied Shipyard and Lafourche Parish government in the LaRose area, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any and all relevant documents. Mr. Otam for administration. Number 17, proposed ordinance submitting a proposed amendment to the current Lafourche Parish Home Rule Charter for the parish of Lafourche, State of Louisiana, as it pertains to term limits for Lafourche Parish president and enacting certain other provisions in connection therewith. Mr. Jim Wendell.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Item N, resolutions. Number 18, resolution approving an intergovernmental agreement between Lafourche Parish Government, the Lafourche Parish Sheriff's Office, Lafourche Parish Clerk of Court, and the 17th Judicial District Court for security at the courthouse and courthouse annex in Thibodaux, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any and all relevant documents. Motion by Mr. Groves, second by Mr. Adams. Any discussion?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
So what if they don't have court, when it goes a year with COVID and do we pay $119,000? Is that just like a retainer? Or is it about an hour?
It was a little bit less than that, but, yeah, we still had some court costs, security costs associated with it.
Yeah, I mean, we need it, but I mean, I probably should ask that.
It's manpower, actually. It's the cost associated with the sheriff's officers that are there.
I mean, obviously, yeah, I'm definitely for it, just like I'm for it for here, but if there goes a year, or if we Zooming, do we still pay for security over here when we had Zoom calls during,
So for
COVID?
here, no. I would have to go back and get that particular that information. I can tell you that we have been holding court for the last really good year, so.
Right, no, we are, but if, when we didn't,
I can find out for
we
you.
get a refund.
Sure.
Thank you, Mr. Grove. Mr. Otan.
Yeah, so I discussed this extensively, Mike, and was very displeased because the cost went up because of all the video stuff that had to be implemented and all. And as y'all may recall, the chief, judge and the sheriff decided not to incarcerate anyone unless they were a violent felon. So people that were stealing cars and stuff like that during COVID, we basically everything kind of stopped. And I was personally affected by it, so that's why I know very well. Meanwhile, other jurisdictions or municipalities, Denham Springs, had policies and they kept things flowing with COVID. We kind of took a different approach where nobody went in jail unless it was a violent offense, et cetera, et cetera. So, but what I was told when this came up last time was because it had extra costs, because a lot of the infrastructure, kind of like we had to do here, where a lot of things had to go into video conferencing and stuff like that. So, anyway, and then also having to desanitize things and all those other things. So.
Thank you, gentlemen. Any other discussions?
And my only reason for action is because the courthouse is in need of dire repair, as you know, and we've been studying and getting quotes and things like that. It is a lot of money, but we need a lot more than that to get it up to standards.
Yeah, yes, and in fact,
historical building.
There's a lot that goes into it, and we've been interacting with the engineers and architects on buildings itself, and that is one of the buildings that we recently discussed.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. We'll take item 18 to a vote. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes with 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 abstention, being Mr. Wendell. Item 19, resolution approving an agreement between Lafourche Parish Government and Lafourche Parish Recreation District Number 11 to reimburse funds for the construction of a pavilion and restroom facility, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any and all relevant documents. Motion by Mr. Adams, second by Mr. Jones. Any discussion? Take it to a vote. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes with 9 yeas, 0 nays. Resolution approving an agreement between Lafourche Parish Government and Delta Coast Consultants, LLC for professional services for the project titled E.D. White Historic Site Launch Project, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any and all relevant documents. Motion by Mr. Adams, second by Mrs. Chesson. Any discussion? All right, we'll take it to a vote. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item 21, resolution accepting the low bid of Pro Scales and Construction Services LLC in the amount of $41,500 for the project title Hurricane Ida Repairs, Raceland Ag Facility, Phase 1, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer an agreement and any and all relevant documents. Motion by Mr. Araby, second by Mr. Otan. Any discussion? Take it to a vote. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item number 22, resolution approving bids for miscellaneous materials for the time period of September 1, 2022 through August 31st, 2023, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Motion by Mr. Otan, second by Mr. Araby. Any discussion? Take it to a vote. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item number 23, resolution approving an agreement between Lafourche Parish Government and the Lafourche Parish Commission on Women to assist with the cost for the 2022 Louisiana Girls Leadership Academy, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any and all relevant documents. Motion by Mr. Lorraine, second by Mr. Ota. Any discussion? We'll take it to a vote. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item 24, resolution approving an agreement between Lafourche Parish Government and GIS Engineering LLC for professional service for the project titled Residential Drop-Off Site, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any and all relevant documents. Motion by Mr. Adams, second by Mr. Jones. Any discussion? Take it to a vote. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes with 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item 25, resolution approving a cooperative endeavor agreement between Lafourche Parish Council, Office of Community Action, and Thibodeau Funeral Home Incorporated for the purpose of providing funeral assistance, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Motion by Mr. Jones, second by Mr. Adams. Any discussion? Take it to a vote. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item number 26, resolution approving a cooperative endeavor agreement between Lafourche Parish Council, Office of Community Action, and Semart Funeral Home of Homa LLC for the purpose of providing funeral assistance, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any and all relevant documents. Motion by Mr. Jones, second by Mr. Adams. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Resolution approving a cooperative endeavor agreement between the Lafourche Parish Council, Office of Community Action, and Landry's Funeral Home Incorporated for the purpose of providing funeral assistance, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any and all relevant documents. Motion by Mr. Jones, second by Mr. Otan. Any discussion? Take it to a vote. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item 28, resolution approving a cooperative endeavor agreement between Lafourche Parish Council, Office of Community Action, and Fletcher Technical Community College for the purpose of providing tuition assistance, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any and all relevant documents. Motion by Mr. Jones, second by Mr. Adams. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes with 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 abstention being Mr. Wendell. Item 29, resolution approving a cooperative endeavor agreement between Lafourche Parish Council, Office of Community Action, and Nichols State University for the purpose of providing tuition assistance, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any and all relevant documents. Motion by Mr. Jones, second by Mr. Adams. Any discussion? Take it to a vote. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item number 30, resolution approving a cooperative endeavor agreement between Lafourche Parish Council, Office of Community Action, and Unitech Training Academy, Homa, for the purpose of providing tuition assistance, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any and all relevant documents. Motion by Mr. Jones, second by Mrs. Chasson. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item number 31, resolution approving a cooperative endeavor agreement between Lafourche Parish Council, Office of Community Action, and Jake's Kids LLC for the purpose of providing school uniform assistance, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any and all relevant documents. Motion by Mr. Jones, second by Mr. Adams. Any discussion? Take it to a vote. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item 32, resolution approving a cooperative endeavor agreement between Lafourche Parish Council, Office of Community Action, and the Deauville Inn for the purpose of providing temporary housing assistance, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any and all relevant documents. Motion by Mr. Jones, second by Mr. Adams. Any discussion? Take it to a vote. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes with 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 abstention, being Mr. Wendell. Item number 33, resolution approving a cooperative endeavor agreement between Lafourche Parish Council, Office of Community Action, and Lady of the Sea Community Pharmacy Number 1 for the purpose of providing prescription assistance and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any and all relevant documents. Motion by Mr. Jones, second by Mrs. Chasson. Any discussion? Take it to a vote. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes with 9 yeas, 0 nays. Resolution approving item 34, resolution approving a cooperative endeavor agreement between Lafourche Parish Council, Office of Community Action, and Lady of the Sea Community Pharmacy Number 2 for the purpose of providing prescription assistance and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any and all relevant documents. Motion by Mr. Jones, second by Mr. Adams. Any discussion? We'll take it to a vote. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item 35, resolution approving a cooperative endeavor agreement between Lafourche Parish Council, Office of Community Action, and Rouse's Enterprise for the purpose of providing food assistance and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any and all relevant documents. Motion by Mr. Jones, second by Mr. Adams. Any discussion? We'll take it to a vote. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes with 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 abstention, being Mr. Wendell. Item 36, resolution approving amendment number 1 to the agreement between Louisiana Housing Corporation and the Lafourche Parish Council, Office of Community Action for the Low Income Home Energy Assistance Program, LAHEAP, fiscal year 2022 funds, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said amendment and any and all relevant documents. Motion by Mr. Jones, second by Mr. Otan. Any discussion? We'll take it to a vote. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes with 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item number 37, resolution approving amendment number 1 to the agreement between Lafourche Parish Government and Lafourche Parish School Board for the Thibodeau High Transfer Switch Project and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said amendment and any all relevant documents. Motion by Mr. Jones, second by Mrs. Chasson. Any discussion? Take it to a vote. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes with 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item number O, Parish President, Department Heads, or Directors, Managers, Reports, Presentations, and/or Updates. Number 38, Finance Representative to present the monthly financial report as required by the state agreed-upon procedures for July 2022.
Okay, the first slide represents the royalty revenue. In the second quarter of 2022, LPG has received $578,104.45. In 2022, the second quarter shows an increase of $312,460.88, a 54.04% increase compared to the second quarter of 2021. Next slide shows Road Sales Tax District A. In the second quarter of 2022, LPG has received $1,904,679.61. In 2022, the second quarter shows an increase of $364,823.83, which is a 19.15% increase compared to the second quarter of 2021. Road Sales Tax District 2. In the second quarter of 2022, LPG has received $1,016,601.64. In 2022, the second quarter shows an increase of $301,724.71, which is 29.68% increase compared to the second quarter of 2021. Solid Waste. In the second quarter of 2022, LPG has received $2,860,377.85. In 2022, the second quarter also shows an increase of $692,385.67, which is a 24.21% increase compared to your 2021 numbers. Parish Transportation. In the second quarter of 2022, LPG has received $165,105.04. In 2022, the second quarter shows an increase of $7,400 $472.44, which is a 4.52% increase compared to your second quarter of 2021. The general fund. The general fund shows a good balance of $763,785.42 through June of 2022. Drainage. Drainage is showing a deficit of $2,476,891.18. The library. The library is showing a good balance of $4,920,832.67. Solid waste. Solid waste is showing a good balance of $5,319,927.24. Royalty is also showing a good balance through June, $1,712,585.59. Your next chart will show you the comparison of parish transportation between years 2021, and 2022, and also you see the graph for royalty that also shows, the bar chart, I'm sorry, that shows from years 2021 and 22. Both parish transportation and royalty are higher in 2022. Next slide shows your sales tax comparison. I also used the same 3 years, 2021 and 22, and you can see the one that's represented 2021 is high across the board for road sales tax A, 2, and solid waste. Thank you. If you have any questions, please let me know.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone with any specific questions now? All right, we'll move on to item P. Questions for the administration. We'll start at District 1. You guys on the right have anything? Moving our way around, Mr. Melvin.
Yeah, I just had a quick question, I guess for Dylan, on some of the, or actually, I guess it's garbage, yeah. So I know that it's still been a catch-up game, and I understand we went through some tragedy last year. I know that some of the piles, and again, I know I've addressed this, and it's being taken care of, but just to be sure, some of these piles of garbage, I mean, even if it's just a few branches or a small pile, we're not talking about trees or anything taking up the lot. I just know in pre-COVID for sure, but I just noticed things were picked up within 2 weeks, usually. I don't know if River Birch is not keeping notes on piles that are there, and I know some things are in progress to improve. I'm just making a note of because, I mean, the stuff stays there a month and a half, sometimes 2 months, the grass is dead, and my phone's ringing, and it could be a small pile of stuff, could be a rocker, something. We're not talking about a big bunch of construction debris or a whole bunch of trees. So do you know what the protocol is supposed to be, Dylan?
Yeah, so River Birch had made a substantial move towards the middle of the summer, and they had caught up really well with the debris catching them.
Right, I don't know, they were pretty good about getting cans that were lost. I don't know if anybody else is losing cans, but some people have had their cans on film and in the hopper. 2 other quick ones. Any news when we're gonna get the awning fixed in the front? I know we're spending money everywhere. What about the awning in the front of this building?
That's gonna be a part of the building remodel.
Okay, great. And lastly, real quick, D, I got a text, I don't know if the vac truck is back in the country club again. I thought it was, because somebody sent me a text about some dirt or something, but do you know where this thing is?
It's been there 2 days a week for the last 4 months, probably.
Okay, I'm just making sure, because it was there, seemed like every day, and all of a sudden gone, and I hadn't seen
it. It was actually on Price Lane yesterday.
Okay. I'm gonna follow up with the homeowner who was calling me originally, and we'll go from there, but thank you.
And I can give you some more info on that. There's some collapsed culverts that we have to dig out.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Melvin. Mr. Araby.
Yeah, Mr. Dillon, got a couple of questions for you. On the, anything lately on the DD Troop softball?
I talked to the engineer about 2 weeks ago. We're supposed to have something by the end of this month to review. So hopefully, this week, next week, we have something to look at and chew on and, get some plans of action moving forward.
Anything on the Gaines Highway 654 project you and I talked about a month ago? You were supposed to get them to go finish that, clean up that ditch.
So they dug it 2 weeks ago, and the vac truck was there last week, so it's done.
I never saw it on that report, so that's why I'm asking you.
It's done. I witnessed it.
And another question I want to ask, why was the maintenance area changed throughout the parish?
Just to better suit what we're doing here, it's real confusing where things start and stop. We got a lot of confusion when we send stuff out to the field offices. It's just an easier way for us to show it. When we had a lot of help come in from the storm, we picked real big landmarks. We moved it to the Intercoastal, Highway 90, Lafourche Crossing. It's real easy boundaries. Also, we had field officers that were driving 30, 35, 40 minutes to go look at job sites. And that's real tough when you need a supervisor to make a decision or look at something. They're having to drive. I'll give you an instance. Lockport Field Office all the way to East 36th Street. That's kind of a hike. Our barn's on West 96 or 97th. That's East 36 is not that far from them. So we looked at it. I measured everything out on Google Earth, looked at, how centrally located our field offices were. Same thing for the Thibodeau field office. It's kind of a hike from them to get all the way on the west side of Thibodeau down south of the Lafourche Crossing. So we just feel logistically it was better. It's going to try to minimize large pieces of equipment going through the crossing because nobody's having to cross the crossing at this point. There's a number of things that went into it, but I don't think we're going to see any issues or any effect of it. Our guys took it really well. They actually embraced the change. I thought we'd get a lot more kickback from the guys in the field office, but they all took it and ran with it. Within a week, they had at least started cutting grass in their new areas, and they had all visited their areas and went over it with the previous supervisor to go over any issues, complaints, concerns, questions, common calls we get from that area, and discussed it. So our guys took to it really well. They've been doing it for right at 4 weeks now, and there's no issues that I've heard of as of yet.
I'm just kind of wondering because it's been like that for the past 30 plus years, and I was kind of wondering why we had a change and why the councilman wasn't notified about it because of the fact that the constituents call us, and we still got some constituents calling the east. I mean, you took all of the back of the hospital and you put it in the Lafourche area. These people have been calling the Raceland Barn forever and a day now, and you ought to make anything publicity to let these people know they got to start calling somewhere else.
Well, if they use the work order system.
Well, not everybody's going to use your work order system.
No, but if they call, it can be put in by any field office. But if it utilizes the work order system, it's going to automatically geo-reference to a specific boundary. So there should be no issue there. And even if they call the Raceland field office to report it, the Raceland field office can also put in a work order for anybody. And it's going to automatically geo-reference and send it to the correct one.
I mean, and I understand what you're saying. I just felt like we should have been informed about that was going to be taking place so that we could have known what was going on to let the people know. They called us. Y'all can't call Raceland, you got to call Lafourche. So,
but you can't call Raceland. It's
all right. Thank you.
yes,
Thank
sir.
you, Mr. Araby. Anybody else? Alrighty. Item Q, Parish President's final comments. Mr. Ogeron, you have anything? Oh, I'm sorry.
I had my light on.
I'm sorry, I didn't see that, Daniel. We'll go back to item P. Mr. Lorraine.
Yeah, I just want to bring up a couple of things real quick. There are some problems distributing garbage cans, and Sam does a good job as far as I could see. Of course, sometimes his hands is tired, I would assume. And I got Miss Griffin, an elderly woman. As the people call me, I get the address and I send it in. I send it to that guy, Risner, whatever his name is, Jamie Reisner with River Birch, and I send it to Sam. And Miss Griffin is, I don't know if she got it yet or not. Miss Dewey, she called me. Her and her neighbor got destroyed for the hurricane. They finally got on their feet, got another mobile home, and I turned their garbage can in. I'm not just turning in garbage cans for J&K Trailer Park. They also need some. And they got a guy that lives in Golden Meadow, Mr. Billiard in the projects. He's been waiting. And Miss Bright called me from Leeville. She needed 2 or 3 cans, they lost everything they had. So try to get that working a lot better than what it is, and we'll take it from there. And where we at with the libraries, Mitch?
So on the Galliana branch, we're waiting on the final bid package to put together so we can go out for bid and get the roofs done. That bid package is actually going to be the same for this building as well. Kevin Groh and his group has been working on that, and of course they have a lot to do because they also have the school systems as well. As soon as we do get that, we'll go out for bid, and then they already are working on the interior scope. So that's the status on the Galliana branch. On the Golometa branch, there's some scoping that we have to do so we can program it and ultimately figure out, you know, dimension, size, capacity, et cetera. A lot of that information was already sent over to the architects, and they're developing some information for us, but ultimately, decision on the Golden Meadow facility is going to be something that's going to come from the library board, and of course, they're going to engage with us as well.
So we had insurance on both of these buildings. Was there ever any money received from insurance?
So interesting you asked that question. We actually had an initial payment of $5 million to start in January, and on Thursday evening we received a balance of what they considered undisputed. So the bulk of the money is in hand. Now going forward, what we have to do is work on supplementals based on what the bids are and where you hit your policy limits, less deductible, and ultimately what FEMA's going to cover.
Okay. Then the next question is that Trish Trailer Park on 3235, we were told that they were going to have, it was to be guarded by guards. I don't see any guards there. Can you find out and let me know?
I can find out for you.
And because I don't even think half of them are being used. I really think that was the biggest waste that FEMA ever accomplished in Lafourche. Because if they'd have done it a year ago, maybe you could consider it, but not a year after the storm. Half them trailers in La Rose are not being used, and half the trailers at that place is not being used. So I say it was a big waste. That's just my opinion.
Thank you, Mr. Lorraine. For the record, Mr. Otan has left the chambers. Mr. Barone, you have something to add?
Yes, sir. I just wanted to address this with Mr. Daniel. I have Ms. Griffin's name right now and Ms. Dewey. I'll follow up with those two. You mentioned another name. What was that?
What was that, Dylan?
You have Ms. Griffin and Ms. Dewey. I have those names written down. I'm going to follow up on the cans for that. You mentioned another name, a gentleman's name.
Miss Griffin's on 3235. I put the address.
You mentioned another name. What was the other resident's name?
The other one was Miss Dewey. It was
I have
Connie.
that. Ms. Griffin, Ms. Dewey, and you mentioned a gentleman's name.
Connie and her neighbor, and Miss Griffin, and Miss Bryan.
Okay, I'll look at the minutes. And I want to talk about J&K Trailer Park. We did reach out to them. We did talk to them. They have the number of cans that they need for the trailer park. They will not be getting cans for the RV park. We do not service the RV parks. So they're not going to be getting cans for that. I just want to make that clear. And
So you can't service the RV parks?
No, sir.
How come you can service the housing authority, which is the same thing?
So I will say this, they do have a contract with FEMA that says that they are responsible for garbage collection. So there's a contract between FEMA and J&K Rentals that says that they are to provide garbage service to the residents that are living in FEMA trailers in that area.
So there's no RV parks that are served?
There's one other one that we found out through this that we are going to notify that they will be no longer serviced.
Because I could tell you there's quite a few of them that are served.
There's 2 currently.
All righty, item Q, Mr. Orgeron, Parish President's final comments. Anything, sir?
Yeah, a couple items. Well, really one main one. There are some meeting invites that went out to all the council members. Something that we've started over the last couple of years is to meet with you guys, talk about what you want in the next capital budget. I know we met with Councilman Adams, and we do have a few of you guys already on the calendar. If you have a certain time that you would want to come and sit down with us, particular location, et cetera, reach out to Lori or myself so we can get that set up, and Renita and I will be in attendance so we can get your wish list and we can get that together, because before you know it, budget will be turned into you guys for consideration. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right, we'll move on to item R, adjournment, on a motion by Mr. Jones, second by Mr. Adams. There were no further business. The Lafourche Parish Council regular meeting of August 23rd, 2022 be adjourned. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes with 8 yeas, 0 nays, and 1 absence, being Mr. Otan, at 6:15 p.m.